Hello everybody, I'm Macbigicekeys, and this is a game discovery for Isleward. This game is a roguelike inspired top-down multiplayer dungeon crawler loot fest with PvP optional. In Isleward, you have different character options. So I played a warrior up to level 9. There's your healer, there is a wizard, and there is a necromancer, which is kind of cool. One of my favorites. I did play a necromancer up to I think level 7 or 8 or something like that. And then there's also a thief. All right, and there's also different skins that you can get. You can see that this is a very like pixel centric sort of game. So this is your skin, and your character will be about the size of these little blocks at the bottom of the screen. One cool thing is when you log in, you have these different prophecies. So if you wanted to do enable PvP, for example, you could select that. Or if you want to gain double stats from weapons, you can select that. I think some of these options are because the game is still in development, and so he's just letting us play around with whatever options we want. There's also hardcore if you want permadeath, if you're a classic roguelike standout. When you start the game, and this is a web-based game, you can play this in the browser. You can also download the client, which is what I have right now. You have your basic options. You have your backpack and inventory. You have your character screen, offensive, defensive stats, miscellaneous stats. There is crafting in the game. Every time I've logged in, there's been about 10 or 12 different players, which isn't bad for a small game that's still like way early in development. And then you have a leaderboard, and then you have your question mark for all the various things. This thing right here, show nameplates, would be super important, I would say, when you're first joining the game. One thing that you're going to want to get used to with this game is the movement. Because it is a roguelike basically running on ticks, your character movement is not instantaneous. Basically choose where he's going to go and he will follow that path. So if I move my cursor real far, I have to wait a few ticks for the character to get there. But that doesn't affect combat in any way, because the mobs are also on ticks and other players are also on the same ticks. So that allows the game to be fair. Combat is pretty straightforward. You tab to target, or you can click to target if it's just, a close enemy. And then you have your skills that are up here. And this will you'll go all the way up, I think, to 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So for example, this is a double slash attack, and then this is a smoke bomb. So I could smoke bomb them, double slash, and then it'll go to auto attack, just like if it was a roguelike. And then the mobs will drop loot. You get the loot, check out the loot. It'll tell you its stats. You can also hold down shift, I believe, to compare it, but I don't have anything to compare it to. This is Rule. He's a warrior, so his attacks are a slash. It's dependent upon the weapon that you're wielding. So for example, if I'm wielding a spear, I'm going to have different attacks. Or if I'm wielding a rune, I'm going to have different abilities. Here's an example of the sort of loot that you're going to find in the game. And again, he's level 9. There's people on here that are level 50. And there are dungeons. So far, right now, I think there's 3 dungeons. The dungeons are repeatable and they scale to your level. So they are static dungeons, which I think, if possible, it would be cool to see procedurally generated dungeons in this game. But like this one, for example, is a static dungeon. This is the sewers near one of the only cities, the first major city, Fjordhold or something like that. And so that's pretty much the whole dungeon that I showed you right there. There's another one that I had played through, like the estuary and the crystal caves, and they're much larger, but this is just supposed to be the sewers beneath the city. And then there are also larger mobs too, like Steelclaw, and I don't know that I'll be able to fight him alone. Last time I was in here, I was running the dungeon with a group of like 4 or 5 players. So let's just go ahead and see what happens. I have a heal. I have some ice spear. So I'm going to show you some of those things. Here's a basic. I'm going to do a ranged attack, and then I'm going to do a closing rush. So here we go. So I'm going to target him, right? He's targeted. There's my ice attack, and I can move while I'm in combat. So if I go over here and then I can charge him again. And I died. So that's probably what's going to happen if I'm fighting him without a team right now, because I'm just not powerful enough. Let me show you that with one of these rats, this should be a lot easier. So this is kind of cool. You get this charge. And of course it uses health, mana, all that sort of stuff. So even the rat's going to be a tough fight for me. I'm going to save up my mana, see if I can get a heal off before I die. I need 10. We're at 9. There we go. We got another heal, so we should be able to win this fight now. Should be in the operative word. Oh, there we go. All right, so that was a close fight. I'm down to 73 hit points. Here we have one of the towns that has been fully developed in the game, and we just have a few places. We have it looks like some sort of shop over here. This is a temple, and I think this is also another sort of temple over here. And basically, if I was in the sewers fighting, I would get reputation for this area, and then I'd be able to buy and trade with these NPCs. So the game is in early development. I think it's really cool. You may have noticed there's no sound, which for some that's going to be a drawback. I just put on some tavern music and I'm good to go. It's web-based, it's browser-based, so that makes it very easy to hop in, play for a few minutes. And the community is great. I haven't really been following the conversation that's been on screen, but people are very interactive, and it's a nice casual game to get into. And I think there's a lot to find from this developer. If you go to his blog, you'll see like options to create your own sprite characters for different mobs and for heroes. There's options to contribute to ideas in the game and that sort of stuff. So there it is. That's Isleward. Comment if you like if you do. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day, and we'll catch you next time.